What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Comically Boston. A bonus episode talking about this week's episode of The Acolyte, episode 4, titled Day. And I've been liking this Acolyte show quite a bit. And it's really funny, the discourse on the internet, because it seems to have split Star Wars fans into people that like new stuff and are willing to watch new stuff and just take it as it comes and then watch it and then decide if we like it or not. And then there's the other half of fandom that I've seen where it's the gatekeeping boomers, I'll call them, that are like, you're ruining Star Wars, Disney Star Wars is terrible, and those same people are the same people that are like, but I love Grogu. But if you hate Disney Star Wars, then you're not allowed to like Grogu, you pussy. Like, all I'm saying is watch something before you decide you like it or hate it, right? Like the first 2 episodes of this show, I really liked. The 3rd episode, I openly said, wasn't the best episode for me. I didn't love the flashback episode with the 2 children actresses, you know, like, that they just didn't do as good a job as these adults are doing for me. But now this 4th episode, you know, cutting back to the present day, I'm into it again, you know? So after that last episode of the 2, you know, sisters, I'm sure we'll flash back again at some point, because there is this clip from a teaser that they dropped last week, a little quick 2-second clip of Kelnaka. Of Kelnaka jumping in, springing into action there, and it looks like he slashes Torben. He's the one that gives Torben the scar on his face, but we also don't know how all of May and Osha's family, like all the other Night Sisters, you know, the power of 1, the power of 2, the power of many, you know, like those bitches. Oh, God, they really grew on me. After that episode, I was thinking about it more and more. I was like, God, that's so funny. The power of 1, power of 2, power of many. But this episode, we don't get to know, we don't find out quite yet who this masked creature individual is, but we do find out some more about him. So I'm in, baby. I want to know who is behind that mask. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I need it. But, you know, so that Kelnaka slicing doesn't happen this episode, but from episode 2, the end of that episode, before the flashback episode, we know that Kelnaka is in the forest somewhere, and I love seeing a Wookiee, man. Like, oh, I wish we got some more Wookiee action this episode, but hey, we'll get to it. But we start off this episode in Kelnaka's hut, house, tree, whatever you want to call it, and we see he has symbols and markings, much like the symbols that was on the forehead of her mother in that witch clan. So, and Kelnaka's not with the Jedi anymore. So what is the deal with these symbols? We don't really get to find out this episode, but this is, why did they show this? This has to be important. So then we cut to a class, a training session going on with the Jedi, and a ginger Jedi master is teaching Daphne Keen's character, Jackie, in a class. And she's kind of swinging around a wooden sword, you know, practicing their probably sword fighting stances. But after the class ends, Osha and Jackie talk, and I love this part, you know, because I was like, oh shit, okay, Osha kind of likes Jackie, you know, she won't say goodbye to her master, but she was like, hey, I'm gonna come say goodbye to you, girl, don't worry, I'm gonna look you up, you know, don't say you missed me now, did you? And she kind of like, you know, has this straight face and this little smile, and she kind of like, you know, would, if her face wasn't painted white, she would have blushed, and you know, like, She's digging it. So I think, and I hope, by the end of this season, that Osha and Jackie here, at least, you know, smooch a little bit. You know, but I hope they fuck, you know? Oh my God. Star Wars needs a little bit more fucking going on. You know what I'm saying? But in that conversation with Jackie, Osha says May is the Jedi's problem now, and I am not a Jedi. And then she goes, "Are you gonna say goodbye to Sol?" And she's like, "I can't say goodbye to him. I caused him enough trouble." So she's going to just leave without saying goodbye to her old master, but say goodbye to Jecki. I was like, she likes Jecki. She likes her a lot. Then we cut to May and Kymir landing on Kofar, which is where Kelnaka's home is at the moment, and they're there to kill Kelnaka, and she's trying to fulfill her mission there and kill her 4 Jedi, but one of them she has to kill without a weapon, which is harder than it looks in this universe. You got blasters, you got knives, you got lightsabers. Like, why not use any of these weapons? But no, you have to show that you're a Sith. But we'll get more into that mission in a little bit. Should they talk about it some more? But we cut to the Jedi in the chamber talking. Venestra, Ro, and the rest of the Jedi are talking about May, and she looks like she has training, and they're like, we need to find out who trained her, because she doesn't have Jedi training, but yet she is still trained. So we need to find out who trained her. Maybe Venestra knows of the Sith, but the Sith are supposedly not supposed to have been around for a long time at this point. And Venestra Ro sends Master Holden, and we cut to like Jedi in the chamber, and Kiadi Mundi is in the crowd, in the group there as a younger man, and it's almost like a jump scare because he is ugly, and the way that his head is like a prolonged extra head up top there, like, oh, I remember seeing him back in the earlier Star Wars. I don't know if he was in the original trilogy, but I think he was definitely in the prequel trilogy, and his head. No, he wouldn't have been in the other ones because he, I think, gets Order 66. You know what I'm saying? So Kiadi Mundi here, though, in the prequels, oh, he was always so ugly. But this is a younger Kiadi Mundi. But still, little cameo there for characters that get really old. But Sol tells Venestra he's dying to go and be one of the people that goes and finds May, and he's trying to save May. He thinks she's still got good in her, and Venestra's like, well, do we have something that May wants? And he's like, yes, probably Osha. So he's using Osha as bait to get May, which is like fucked up of him, but also like he's trying to help her. But like everyone else in the group, are they trying to help her, or are they trying to stop her? I don't know. The Jedi are supposed to be good from what we know, but this is an older Jedi, and we know that they're taking kids to train them, but aren't letting other people train kids. Like, they're hypocritical. I don't know. The Jedi are not supposed to be just plain to see as good guys. I think in this series, I think we're supposed to be questioning the Jedi a little bit more and being like, okay, well, they fell. Why'd they fall if they were this all-powerful, all-knowing gods? Like, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit more messy than we think behind the curtain, you know what I'm saying? But May and her friend Kymir talking about how is she going to kill the Wookiee without a weapon, and her friend somehow knows her master too, and she's like, how do you know him? He's like, well, you know how he is, he collects people. And Kymir says, well, I owe him. And I'm like, okay, so we just found out that the mask thing is a he, I guess, and also like a debt collector, like gets people into debt and then collects them, not like to pay back their debt, but to get them on his side and be like, ooh, you owe me, but now I own you. Like that type of dark shit. Like, no, you don't have to pay me back. I own you now, motherfucker. You gonna do what I say, or I'm gonna kill you. And then he rules them with fear. Very dark side of him. But as soon as he said this, I was like, how does he know this guy? And then May goes, I've never seen his face. And the friend goes, well, I haven't either. And the way he said it, I was like, is Kymir friggin' this man? Like, is this just gonna be revealed that this guy Kymir here is the masked hooded figure here? I don't know, but I have one of 3 potential options for who this guy is that we'll talk about by the end of this. And then May asks Kymir, because Kymir met Osha in the second episode, because Osha was posing as May, and she's like, what is Osha like? I haven't seen her so long. And he goes, I don't really know, but she seemed really fond of Sol. And then keeps walking. I immediately right then and there, I was like, oh, so May's gonna really turn dark here and murder Soul by hand, and then Osha's gonna be really upset, and then maybe Osha turns to the dark side. I don't know, man. Osha's on a slippery slope, though. I can feel it. So Soul finds Osha before she takes off and goes, "There's still good in May. I need you. And come on, like, can you come with me?" And she's like resistant at first, but then goes. And she goes, "Oh, okay, but I'm not wearing the civilian robes." And of course, Soul gets her into those civilian robes, and she's pissed about it, but she wears them anyways. And as she's sitting on the little plane carrier wherever they're going to Kofar, Pip, her little droid that's in her pocket, sprays water at this creature Basil's face, and he's the tracker that they have now. And she's like, who? What? They? Who is that? They? Who is they? And she's like, "Oh, that's Basil." And she's like, "Fucking, what is a Basil?" And it's not what, it's who is a Basil. That is a who. He's a creature that is a tracker. And she's like, "Oh, fuck, okay." Like, you know, she's kind of stunned for a minute, and she's asking Jecki this, and then she's kind of interrupting Yord's briefing, and Yord's like, "Do you have anything to add, civilian?" She goes, no, very comprehensive briefing, Yord." In the way that he just kind of looks at her like, "Oh, yes, I am," like, so proud of himself, like, "Yes, it was a comprehensive briefing." Like, Yord is such a pussy, but I like him still. The actor, Charlie Bennett, he's funny. You know, and I love the stupid-ass fans that now are on TikTok, and they took an interview of him and then cut it around and made him look just as terrible as possible. These motherfuckers are so ignorant. Like this guy hadn't been in the same room all day for 12 hours doing interviews over and over and over again, getting asked the same question, and he slips up and fumbles his words and says Anakin instead of Luke. Both Skywalkers, who gives a fuck? It's semantics, and people are like, "Oh my god, he's the worst, you should know Star Wars." He's an actor. He doesn't have to know the nuances and details about Star Wars left and fucking right. All he has to do is show up and act. And people are like, "Well, he's a professional, he should be able to do interviews." Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Just because you're a great actor does not mean you have to be great at press. And people that are good actors that are getting the chance to do big ass press runs like this that they've never gotten a chance to do before, why are we hating on them for fucking interviews? Like, we're not, then, and those same people haven't even watched the show at all, haven't seen his performance, haven't seen him act, but they're giving him a hard time over a press conference. All y'all are pussies. Fuck off. You have nothing to say. All of your opinions are invalid because you just like to spew hate and nonsense and not have anything actual of value to add to the conversation. So, you're invalid. Goodbye. So we land on Kofar, and Yord gives Basil the scent, and he starts tracking Kelnaka. So now, May and Chimera are off, you know, trying to find Kelnaka themselves, but they don't have a tracker. Chimera is kind of her tracker. And then Basil is leading them by scent to Kelnaka. And Osha stops Yord. You know, they're all walking in unison. They're like, you know, walking towards Kelnaka, following the scent. And Osha asks Yord, if May doesn't listen to reason, please, you know, make sure you stop her. Don't let her continue on to kill people and shit. And Yord's like, kind of nice to her, and he's like, listen, he goes, you have to face her, or you have to face yourself, which is kind of funny to me in hindsight, because I'm like, wait, this is still just Amanda Stenberg and Amanda Stenberg, right? So even if we see two of them, it's still just her, you know what I mean? Like, she's not an actual twin, so there's not two people, it's literally, so she's like, you have to face her, or yourself, and I'm like, well, she is both. So I was like, it kind of made me giggle for a second, but I was like, yeah, but I get it. I get what he meant. And then they have to catch up to the group, and then they stumble into a rotten forest, right? And they walk in. It's kind of like dark and mysterious, and there's like these rock-like things around trees, and they're like, don't touch anything. But there's something wrong in this forest. It's like something's rotting. And you're like, ooh, okay. So what's going to go happen here? And then Osha, of course, has to touch the creature because she senses it. And then Soul takes care of it, cuts it in half. Right after, Jecki goes to Osha, hey, what's wrong? And she's like, I was able to sense that creature, but I disturbed it, and now it's dead. And like, she's sad about it, and she's like, you know, says something like, oh, I'm not a Jedi anymore because I couldn't I couldn't deal with loss and what had happened to me. And she's like, and then Jackie says to her a very powerful line that I thought was great. And she goes, "We are not defined by what we lost. We are defined by what we survive." And then kind of holds her hand and goes, "You've survived a lot." And I was like, oh my God, kiss. I love you two together. I really just want Daphne Keene and Amanda Stenberg now to just be a couple, little power couple in Star Wars. I love it. There's probably people out there that are, oh, look at their woke, they're putting lesbians in Star Wars. Grow the fuck up. Look around. Do you not see gay people in the real fucking world? Do you not see lesbians? And if you do and you're like, this is wrong, then you're at home getting no pussy at all and you're a loser. Go fuck yourself. Let people love whoever the fuck they want to love and just do whatever the fuck you're doing and let people do their own thing. You know, like, other people being lesbians has nothing to do with your own sexuality. Figure it the fuck out, right? Like, I'm comfortable enough with my own skin to be a straight guy and see some gay shit and not be like, ugh, oh God, I can't witness it. I'm too straight for this. Get the fuck out of here, you losers. Oh, God. You're probably like, what set him off? I woke up this morning, right, and I had done a reviews for the DC Universe now at this point. I've watched all of the DC movies, from Christopher Reeve's Superman all the way up to Zack Snyder's stuff. And of course, it's been overwhelmingly positive the whole time. And now I got to 2 Zack Snyder movies. I woke up this morning to a guy that wrote 10 comments. And I read like the half of one and just deleted the rest of them. Because I was like, I kept clicking the read more. And it was like, this guy wrote like an 8-paragraph essay to tell me why my opinion was wrong. And I was like, buddy, go make your own YouTube video and go talk shit there if you want to give your opinion about this movie. But what's not going to happen is you tell me that my opinion about the movie and how the movie affected me was wrong. Now, I don't care if you like the movie, but you can't tell me that I'm wrong. Oh, you're totally wrong. Zack Snyder's movie's great. Christopher Reeve was awful. That is your opinion, and you can have it. But what you can't do is try and diminish me as a human being because I had an opinion that wasn't yours. You're a pussy. You deserve to have Zack Snyder and his terrible movies. Go ahead. Go watch them. But you're not going to be over here talking shit for no reason. I'll be talking to the people that are nice and like the things that I like. And there was another guy that disagreed with me, but left a thoughtful comment on how he loved the movie and was like, yeah, I really loved this movie and it affected me when I first watched it and it's the reason I got into filmmaking. No problem with you, man. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that a movie could affect someone like this. I love that you're in movie making, you know, like, congratulations. You're a different human being than me. We're not affecting and getting affected by stuff the same, right? Like, we don't need to be the same. I'm giving my opinion because it's my YouTube channel, you know, like, you don't need to watch. No one asked you to watch. Anyone that clicked on this channel, thank you so much. I appreciate and love you. But anyone leaving hateful comments for no fucking reason, there's the door. It's right over there. Go fuck yourself that way. You know, like, I'm with the people that are cool and want to talk about these things and talk about what they do like and not just, oh, this is wrong, I hate it, and just be sitting on the other side of the internet like a keyboard is going to make them feel better. And I woke up at like 7 this morning. So this guy left an 8-page essay at 4 in the morning. I was like, okay, man, I'm not even going to entertain or read whatever this was. I just saw that it was disrespectful, and I was like, this, and then clicked on his channel. 0 followers, 0 subscribers, 0 videos. And I'm like, you're nothing, you're nobody, and you're too afraid to even put anything out yourself, but you're commenting negative shit, 10-page essays on other people's shit. No one needs to hear from you, pal. I hope you die. And I'm serious. So getting back to it, May and Chimera we cut back to, and they're talking about her test, and she's like, it's not a test, it's my final mission. And she thinks it's rather impossible. And she's like, it's your final mission. You have to kill a Jedi without a weapon. Why? Because this is against everything that the Jedi believe. You know, the Jedi believe only in attacking in defense, you know, kind of thing. Like, that creature came at soul. He cut it in half, you know, like that's what Jedis do. They got the light sword, they're going to use the light sword, but they're not going to attack first. They're going to defend first and then defend themselves righteously afterwards. But, you know, at least from what we know of them mostly, but this time period, you know, maybe they're doing some different shit. Maybe they're attacking first, asking questions later, you know, like maybe that's how they got to power and things are being kept secret for a reason. What I find very interesting is that Kymir kind of goes, all right, fine, you do have to rest. You're losing your edge. I'm going to go get you some water. And then May screams and he comes running back and she sets a trap for him. And she's got him tied up by the ankle up in a tree. And she's like, I don't have to do this anymore. I don't have to do this impossible mission. I don't have to listen to your master. Not her master, says to Kymir, your master. I don't need to listen to your master. Osha being alive changes everything. My loyalty is to Osha, not your master. What I'm gonna do is turn myself into Kelnaka, and he'll bring me to the Jedi. And then runs away, and he's like, no, Osha, the Jedi are gonna imprison you. They're gonna, you know, whatever. And she's like, I'll tell them everything I know about, you know, whatever, mask face. And from as soon as this moment happened, I was like, dude, Kymir might really be that mask guy, because we've never seen Kymir and the mask guy in the same scene. We've seen May and the mask guy. We've seen now Osha and the mask guy. Oh, wait, that's in 1 second. Hold on. We're getting there. Ooh. So then we cut back to Sol and the Jedi, and he senses something. Osha comes up and says, what is it? And he goes, nothing. She goes, you didn't let me face May before, but I'm ready now? And like asking a question, and he's like, you're not going to be facing her. You're going to be facing your past. We both will be. And that, you know, made me question. I was like, what past are they both going to be facing, right? Like, it made me go, wait, is there something that Sol hasn't been telling us from that night, from the last episode, from that flashback episode? Like, like, I'm still like, okay, how did all those women die? Like, we just saw a pile of bodies and no real, like, lightsaber marks or wounds, like anything like that, like visually, you know, maybe they were, but maybe they're all on the backs and then they laid them back down. Like, I don't know. You know, all I'm saying is, you know, I don't think those women in the Night Sisters just died from natural causes or a fire. You know, I'm thinking something else happened there, and there's a reason why we haven't seen that whole Kelnaka jumping and the slash on the eye. I'm thinking maybe Night Mother there took over Kelnaka's mind, and Kelnaka went off and killed a whole bunch of people, maybe all the mothers, and then also slashed Torben. You know, maybe Torben was his Padawan or something, you know, and now Torben was, you know, the guy that had that Osha killed in the second episode by poison. You know, so why do they all feel bad? Why did he willingly die? And what did they do to May and Osha, like, to deserve this? I don't know. And what did they do to the mask guy to deserve this too? Because it seems more like a targeted hit than just like random killings. But he goes, I'll explain everything when we get back to the ship. And from this moment on, I think Sol's going to die and we're never going to get to know what happens, and Osha will never get to know what happens. As much as we want to know, that's just not how life works, man. I think we're all just going to be fucked and we're not going to get to know what happens. But Basil finds May and lets out this screech. And I was like, God damn, why do I love Star Wars creatures so much? But that screech, get him a walkie-talkie or something. Like, he had to scream and let these Jedi find him. God damn. But May runs into Kelnaka's place, and we see Kelnaka with a slash through his chest, and it's kind of crispy, and it's bleeding, but it's kind of also, like, burning. Like, oh. And it's like, oh, no. And Kelnaka's just dead in a chair sitting there, and it looks like his place has been kind of destroyed a little bit. And she goes, oh, no. He's here, right? Because obviously she doesn't have a lightsaber, and she was just about to turn herself in, and then the lighting goes from like bright behind her to just like this dark shift, and once she realizes he's there, so now all of a sudden she's sitting there in darkness, and you're like, oh my god, this guy, whoever this dark figure is, affects the lighting? Like, how dark is this motherfucker? But then we see the Sith hover down, right? Like, just kind of, like, almost like Magneto-esque, hovers down, lands on the ground behind Osha. Not May. May's on the inside. The Republic Jedi, come out of that domicile, you know, like whatever Yord was saying. And then they turn around and they see this masked, creepy-looking Sith figure that they, the Sith aren't supposed to exist at this point, so they don't really know. And Jackie goes, "What is that?" And when I'm like, "Yeah, what the fuck? Who the fuck? What is that?" Like, so crazy. And then we see the Sith sparks up the lightsaber. We get this incredible shot of Amanda Stenberg and this masked figure and this red lightsaber face to face, and this lightsaber splitting the divide between them. And I'm like, what is happening? This is so cool. And then just kind of yeets Osha out of the way and then snaps his head back, and then sees all the Jedi power up their lightsabers and take off running. I'm pretty sure I saw Plo Koon in there somewhere as well. If you guys don't know who Plo Koon is, he's this guy with this mask. But then, like, yeets Osha to the side, all the Jedi charge at him, and just holding his lightsaber still, so just one-handedly pushes back a whole group of Jedi, and, like, dust comes up flying, and then they cut to credits. I was like, what an incredible cliffhanger, or like, holy Christ. And this was one of the shorter episodes of the season, but episode 5 was the one that they said was going to be the banger. So now I'm sitting there, okay, this whole episode was kind of building towards that cliffhanger. Well, if it's a cliffhanger, that means the start of that next episode is going to be the masked guy, them talking about Kalnaka's body, that fight, whatever happens, that aftermath of that is going to be episode 5. So I am excited for next week. I don't know if there's 6 or 8 episodes for the show, but either way, I've been liking it so far. This episode got me back on track. I like the adult actors a little bit more. I like the little love relationship between Jackie and Osha. But comment below, what are you thinking about Star Wars Acolyte? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Leave those comments down in the comment section below, respectfully. And my name is Big Cam. If you guys watch this video all the way to this point, I really appreciate you. Drop that like, subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss future videos. It really supports the channel. Hit the share link button. That helps spread the information, spread the knowledge of this channel, spread me around. I really would appreciate that a lot. I've been having some good interactions and progress recently on the channel, so we kind of keep growing and growing. We're on the path to getting monetized, and we're almost to 1,000 subscribers, so I really appreciate all you guys that have supported me and left a comment and talked to me. And if you guys want to talk to me on my other social medias, link down in the description below. My Letterboxd, my Twitter, Instagram. I'm also on Threads, BIGGCAM, pretty much anywhere. And you can find me. And if you want to talk more, we can talk more. But until next time, I will see you beautiful people in the next video. Peace.